and I hope you die and suffer in hell. I just want my mama.
And just to clear the air, I don't give a fuck about how nobody feel about me. Keep feeling it, bitch.
They would have been like, it's your fault, ma'am. You were in the wrong. You motherfucker be in the wrong too. Y'all always in the wrong and want to turn around and blame it on everybody else. Them the most. Whew. Man, talk about people that don't want to take the blame for themselves. Police, ain't about shit. Ain't about shit.
I will kill you. Those words hung in the air at a church's chicken drive-thru in Memphis. Minutes later, they became reality. July 8th, 2024. A Monday night shift. A customer complaining about a chicken order. Nothing special. Nothing unusual. Until that customer drove away. Then came back with a gun. One bullet. That's all it took to turn 48-year-old Anitra West from a mother working her shift into another Memphis homicide statistic. We see these headlines and think, who gets that mad over fast food? Or, who takes a life over a chicken wing? We shake our heads. We move on. But what if there's more to this story? What if understanding what really happened could save your life or loved one someday? Because here's what keeps me up at night. This murder happened in public, at a place families visit daily, during regular business hours, not in some back alley at 3 a.m., not during a robbery gone wrong, while Anitra was on the phone with a friend, while co-workers were just feet away. The woman who pulled that trigger? She had time to cool off, time to drive away, time to think, and yet she came back. Why? I've spent weeks investigating what happened that night in Orange Mound. The evidence trail, the overlooked connections, the system failures that put a gun in the hands of someone who never should have had one. And, by the end of this video, you'll learn warning signs of escalating violence that police reports won't tell you. You'll discover critical self-protection strategies for public confrontations. This isn't just another tragic headline. It's a warning about how quickly everyday situations can turn deadly, and why nobody saw it coming. Welcome to Hidden Crime Network. What you're about to witness isn't just another fast food dispute gone wrong. Most people will watch this, feel a moment of shock, then scroll to the next video. But you're still here, which tells me something important about you. You understand that beneath every headline lies a deeper truth. A truth that might actually save your life or protect someone you care about someday. The warning signs, the escalation patterns we'll uncover in this case, they happen in neighborhoods just like yours, at restaurants you visit, during confrontations you might witness. If you want to recognize these patterns before they turn dangerous, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Our investigations provide knowledge that could help you navigate tense situations safely. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. The information here might be exactly what they need to spot trouble before it escalates. Where are you watching from today? Drop your state or city in the comments. The patterns we discuss might be happening right in your community. Now, let's head back to Memphis, Tennessee, to Orange Mound, where a neighborhood fast food spot became a murder scene on a Monday night that seemed like any other.
Police said it all, why this happened, why did this all happen?
They say it happened over a food order, Daryl. Get that. We've also learned just within a few minutes that police have located the suspect's vehicle. More on that here in just a second, but in an
Memphis, Tennessee, a city where blues music flows from Beale Street, where barbecue pits smoke into the summer air, where the mighty Mississippi River cuts through the landscape. But beneath the music and flavor runs something darker. A current of violence that's earned Memphis a spot among America's most dangerous cities. Despite some progress in 2024, crime down 13% overall, Memphis still struggles, still fights, still loses too many of its own to bullets. Orange Mound sits just southeast of downtown, one of the oldest black neighborhoods in the South, a community where generations of families have lived on the same blocks, where the guy at the corner store knows your name, your mama's name, and probably your grandmama's too. Orange Mound is a small community. Lorenzo West would later tell reporters, "It's very rare that people this age in our age group don't know each other." Anitra West was born in 1976, grew up right there in Memphis. By all accounts, she lived the kind of life that rarely makes headlines, until it ends too soon. At 48, Anitra had built her world around what mattered most: family, hard work, and her 12-year-old daughter. For 16 years, she'd been married to Lorenzo West, high school sweethearts who eventually grew apart, but stayed connected through their child. She was the sweetest person in the world, Lorenzo said, never met a stranger. At Church's Chicken on Park Avenue, Anitra was known as reliable, dedicated, the kind of employee who showed up on time, handled the rush with a smile, looked out for her coworkers. But to her daughter, she was simply everything. What most news reports missed was the connection. In Orange Mound, with its tight streets and interwoven lives, Monica Williams wasn't some random customer who snapped over chicken. These women had history, knew the same people, moved in the same circles. "I had family live directly down the street from where she grew up at," Lorenzo explained. "First cousins and stuff." For years, Anitra and Monica's lives had orbited each other in that Memphis neighborhood. But on July 8, 2024, those orbits collided at a drive-thru window, and nothing would ever be the same again. Monday, July 8, 2024. Just another shift at Church's Chicken in Orange Mound. The dinner rush had slowed down. Most folks had already grabbed their meals and headed home. Just after 9 p.m., a teal-colored SUV pulled into the drive-thru lane. Behind the wheel, Monica Williams, purple hair, 45 years old, a woman with a history that would only come to light later. In the passenger seat, a woman and her 10-year-old son, witnesses to what would unfold. Anitra West was wearing earbuds, phone tucked into her shoulder as she worked the window. On the other end of that call, a friend who would become the key to understanding what really happened. The order started simple enough. Then something went wrong. According to police, it was a dispute over payment. The kind of thing that happens 1,000 times a day in fast food spots across America. Words were exchanged. Voices raised. They got into an argument so tense, one report noted, that they decided not to order since things had become so heated. But before Williams drove away, she said something that changed everything. "I will kill you." Those 4 words, caught clearly by Anitra's friend still listening on the phone. The SUV pulled away, the threat hanging in the air like smoke. Shaken by the encounter, Anitra told a co-worker she needed some fresh air. Stepped outside into the warm Memphis night, still on the phone with her friend. How long was she outside? 2 minutes? 5? The exact time isn't in any report. Long enough for Monica Williams to make a decision. Long enough to drop off her passenger and the child at home. Long enough to circle back to Church's Chicken. When the teal SUV returned to the parking lot, Anitra recognized it immediately. "This same girl with purple hair, I just got into it with, just pulled back up," she told her friend on the phone. "Then, just go to jail then, H****. Those were Anitra West's last words. A single gunshot, then silence on the phone, then panic as co-workers found her body. If you're feeling that knot in your stomach right now, that sense that something isn't adding up, you're right. Hit that like button if you've ever witnessed an argument that seemed to escalate way too fast. Have you ever wondered what makes someone come back after they've had a chance to walk away? Drop your theories in the comments, because what investigators would discover next changes everything we thought we knew about this case. When 911 calls flooded in from Church's Chicken that night, Memphis PD responded fast. Officers found chaos at the scene. Employees crying, customers pointing toward the street where the teal SUV had disappeared, and Anitra West, lying in the parking lot with a gunshot wound to the head. Paramedics rushed her to Regional 1 Health, but it was too late. At 10:32 p.m., doctors pronounced her dead. Back at the restaurant, detectives went to work. They collected shell casings, interviewed witnesses, pulled surveillance footage from the cameras that had captured it all. The footage gave them a clear image. A teal compact SUV, a woman with distinctive purple hair. What they didn't have was a name. That changed when a woman called police the next day. She'd seen the news about the shooting. She knew exactly who they were looking for. Monica Williams, 45 years old. The woman was the passenger who'd been in the SUV during the argument. She told police Williams had dropped her and her son home after the drive-thru confrontation, saying she was going to get some chips to go with their dinner. Instead, Williams had gone back to Church's Chicken with a gun. On July 11th, 3 days after the murder, the Shelby County District Attorney's Office issued a warrant for Monica Williams. First-degree murder. But Williams had vanished. For nearly a week, she managed to stay one step ahead of law enforcement. Her face appeared on local news. Her name echoed across police radios. She packed an overnight bag, one news report stated, and left without her car. For 6 days, Anitra's family waited for justice while Williams remained free. Then, on Monday, July 15th, something unexpected happened. Monica Williams walked into a Memphis Police precinct and surrendered. No dramatic standoff. No high-speed chase. She simply walked in and gave herself up. But why? Why surrender after a week on the run? What made the story even more puzzling was what investigators began to hear from Anitra's family. "I know Anitra was too important to be about some food," Lorenzo West told reporters.
Over chicken.
I know Anitra was too important to be killed about some food. It wasn't about no food. It was something somebody took personal and couldn't let it go, you know. And words get past, once you get past words in Memphis, everybody knows how it turns out.
And suddenly, the narrative shifted. Police had framed this as road rage in a drive-thru lane. A customer angry over a food order. But Lorenzo's words hinted at something deeper. Something personal. So what was the real connection between these two women? And why had nobody mentioned it until now? As Monica Williams sat in custody, a darker picture began to emerge. This wasn't her first violent encounter. Records revealed a 2009 conviction for aggravated assault. The victim? A woman named Britt Taylor, who Williams had stabbed during an argument. "I knew it was coming," Taylor told reporters after Williams' arrest for Anitra's murder. "She's always been wild. The pattern was familiar. An argument. An escalation. Violence that went way beyond the initial conflict." But the biggest revelation came from Lorenzo West. He knew something the police reports hadn't mentioned. "Orange Mound is a small community," he explained. "I had family live directly down the street from where she grew up at. These weren't strangers who met by chance at a drive-thru window. We either went to elementary school, middle school, or high school together," Lorenzo continued. "It's very rare that people in our age group don't know each other." Suddenly, the story changed completely. This wasn't random fast food rage. This was personal. Years of history. Old conflicts. Deep grudges. The kind that simmer beneath the surface until something small, like an order at Church's Chicken, causes everything to boil over. Monica Williams didn't just know Anitra West. What exactly happened between these women over the years? What could build enough hatred to make someone return with a gun? The police reports don't say. The news coverage barely touched it. But in Memphis, especially in tight-knit Orange Mound, neighbors whispered. They knew. This video is already shocking enough people that it's getting suppressed. If you think others need to understand how everyday conflicts can turn deadly, share this now. Don't let important warnings get buried. Because there's one more piece to this puzzle that makes it even more disturbing.
I'm worried about, and what I'm most scared about, is these motherfuckers out here shooting like they ain't got no motherfucking sense, y'all. This shit so... This shit just scared the shit out of me. Oh, Lord Jesus. Me and my nephew. We want to live, y'all. We want to fucking live.
In the days following Anitra's death, a makeshift memorial appeared outside Church's Chicken. Flowers, candles, notes from people who knew her. But the real cost of that single bullet couldn't be measured in flowers or tributes. It could only be seen in the eyes of a 12-year-old girl who would never see her mother again. "I just want my mama," Anitra's daughter said, her voice barely audible through tears. "I don't want nobody else." For Lorenzo West, losing his ex-wife meant losing his high school sweetheart, the woman he'd shared 16 years of marriage with, the mother of his child. "The love of my life was taken away," he told reporters, struggling to find words for a loss that defied description. What made the grief even harder to bear was knowing it might have been prevented. The indictment against Monica Williams included a charge many news outlets barely mentioned: convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Think about that for a moment. A woman with a prior violent felony conviction was legally prohibited from owning a gun. Yet somehow, she got one anyway. Somehow, despite a system designed to prevent exactly this scenario.
Our challenge is state law is weak. We have weak state laws that allow easy and widespread access to guns, while at the same time not punishing the wrongful use of those guns.
When Anitra's parents spoke to the media, they painted a picture of a daughter who'd missed a recent family trip because she was committed to her job. Her standards of working is being there, being on time, doing what she needs to do, being there for the customers, and also helping her employees, they explained. She was a daughter, a sister, a mother, an aunt, a cousin, her father said. She was all of that, and then some, and she's going to be truly missed. Meanwhile, police had recovered the teal SUV from outside Williams' home. They'd collected evidence, built their case. But for Anitra's family, no arrest, no conviction, no sentence could fill the void left behind. As one community member put it, "It was very sad to see and hear that a young lady got on her job trying to make a living for herself, only to have her life cut short." The question that haunted everyone: how many other people with violent histories were walking around Memphis with guns they shouldn't legally have? When Monica Williams appeared in court, the charge was first-degree murder. Not second-degree. Not manslaughter. First-degree murder. In Tennessee, that means prosecutors believe she killed Anitra West with premeditation. That she thought about it, planned it, decided to do it before pulling the trigger. The evidence supporting this charge was strong. Williams left the drive-thru after the argument. She drove her passengers home, dropping them off. She returned to Church's Chicken minutes later. She brought a gun with her. That time gap between the argument and the shooting, that's the key to the whole case. That's what makes this premeditated murder rather than a heat-of-the-moment crime of passion. During one court appearance, Williams was seen wiping away tears, making hand gestures to family members in the gallery. But mostly, reports described her as showing little visible emotion. The case is still working its way through the legal system. Williams remains in the Shelby County Jail, held without bond. The second charge, convicted felon in possession of a firearm, carries its own serious legal consequences. But it also points to a massive breakdown in the system. How many laws had to fail for Monica Williams to have that gun? How many safeguards designed to keep weapons away from people with violent histories simply didn't work? We've covered a lot of ground here, but I'm curious what you think. Was this really about chicken? Was it old neighborhood beef? Drop your theories in the comments. Some of you might spot something even investigators missed. Because there's one question nobody seems to be asking. How many Monica Williamses are out there right now? People with violent pasts, illegal guns, and long-standing grudges just waiting to explode? Orange Mound didn't just lose a restaurant worker that night. They lost a neighbor, a friend, a familiar face. The community response came in waves. Prayer vigils, news interviews, conversations on street corners about how something like this could happen in broad daylight. Memphis knows violence. In 2024, despite some improvements, the city still ranked among America's most dangerous. But this murder hit different, because it could have been anybody's drive-thru order, anybody's minor dispute, anybody's daughter working a regular shift. What can we learn from what happened to Anitra West? Pay attention when someone makes a direct threat. "I will kill you" isn't just angry words when it comes from someone with a violent history. Notice when conflicts seem disproportionate to the situation. A wrong order doesn't typically cause that level of rage unless something deeper is fueling it. Recognize when someone has an opportunity to walk away but chooses to come back. That's a critical moment that separates impulsive anger from calculated violence. Mental health professionals point to a concept called disproportionate rage. When someone's reaction goes way beyond what the situation calls for. It's one of the clearest warning signs of potential violence. In Memphis, community leaders pushed for better enforcement of laws preventing felons from obtaining firearms. They asked how someone with Williams' history could get a gun so easily. But the hardest lessons fell on those closest to Anitra. That sometimes the people we've known our whole lives can become the greatest threat. Anitra West never got to see her daughter grow up. Never got to attend her graduation. Never got to meet her grandchildren. All because of one moment that didn't have to happen. Her legacy lives on through her daughter, now facing life without her mother. Through her ex-husband, who lost his high school sweetheart and co-parent. Through parents who outlived their child. There's something deeply wrong when a mother goes to work and doesn't come home because someone couldn't handle a simple dispute. There's something broken in a system that allows someone with a history of violence to illegally obtain a firearm. There's something missing in how we teach conflict resolution when "I will kill you" becomes more than just words. We've talked about the signs to watch for, the red flags that might save your life someday, the moments when a confrontation crosses from everyday frustration into potential danger. But the hardest truth is this. In those critical seconds when anger turns to action, most people don't have time to analyze warning signs. That's why prevention matters so much. Why the systems designed to keep guns from violent offenders need to work better. Why communities need to address conflicts before they explode. Anitra West's story matters, not just as another Memphis statistic, but as a human being whose life ended far too soon over something so trivial on the surface, yet so complex underneath. If you've made it this far and still haven't subscribed, ask yourself why. This kind of analysis could save your life or someone you love. Don't be the person who realizes too late they should have paid attention to the warnings. Because somewhere right now, another conflict is brewing, another threat is being made, and another tragedy is waiting to happen. Until next time, remember that what looks like a random act of violence often has deep roots, that threats should never be dismissed, and that walking away from conflict isn't weakness. It might be the strongest choice you ever make. Stay safe, stay aware, and thank you for joining us today. See you on another story from the Hidden Crime Network. Bye for now.